All right, joining us now, of course, they are two of the great standout outfielders in college softball, both from the Arizona Wildcats. Of course, first you got Dakota Kennedy, of course, third team All American last year, Gold Glove Award winner, and of course, Reagan Shockey, her teammate center fielder, sophomore who led the team in hitting last season. 404 was a freshman All American. Both of them join us now here on In the Circle at D1 Softball. How you doing, ladies?
Good.
We're good. How are you?
Very good. I'll start with you, Dakota, and then you, Reagan, can answer. What's it like, been like this fall and with this team this year? How would you describe this team and your teammates?
Honestly, I just describe the team as super competitive. Like we just go into every practice, every scrimmage, live at bats, just ready to compete with each other and just grow off all the tools that we have as a team.
Yeah, I agree. It's been a very, I would say, more intense fall. We got some great additions to the team and just I would say the coaches did a really great job recruiting them and they gel nicely with us and we just got a bigger family. So now it's just a more intense competitive family and it's really great to see it all come together with this spring. So really excited for the season.
Of course, Reagan, you were a freshman last year, so I'm curious what you're thinking about this year's freshman class and who stands out to you. I mean, I know they all stand out, but who are some that kind of might have stood out even more that might contribute like you did last year?
Shoot. Um, I think it's one of the really good freshman class I've seen like in softball. There's a couple of standouts. I mean, I've seen Jenna Sniffen my whole entire life growing up playing with her in Batbusters, but just to see her grow as much as she did in this fall is actually quite amazing. Just her maturity level and the way she just attacks the field. She doesn't look like a freshman to me out there whatsoever. And the way she handles her emotions and her business, it's not very typical, stereotypical freshman like. And that stood out to me. But a lot of these freshmen have improved in so much throughout the fall, throughout the winter. Like you could tell they've been putting in the work and they want to be here. So I would say all of them have really impressed me.
Dakota, how about, I mean, not just the freshmen, but the other newcomers? You have transfers as well. What's it been like getting to know them?
Yeah, it's been really nice. Like Reagan said, everyone gels really well. The newcomers, the freshmen, they all came in and we clicked really fast. Sydney Stewart is just like got in right away with all of us. Just a great player. Say as well, and Kiki. All of our transfers just they're gonna make a huge difference this year and just really contribute to our team as a whole.
Let's talk about each one of you, starting with you, Dakota. What was it like when you got named the All American and you won that Gold Glove Award? That's pretty good 1-2 accolades there that you received last year. Do you remember where you were when you found out each?
Um, so I actually got called into my coach's office. She told me about the Gold Glove in person, and then I'm pretty sure I was getting my hair done when she told me about the All-American. So that one was a little bit of a surprise, but yeah, it was really nice to hear both of those. It was really surprising. It wasn't something that, I was like, "Oh, like that's definitely gonna happen." It was very surprising, but it was very nice to hear. And also just something to work towards as well this season.
Reagan, what was the reaction of the team when she got those accolades, especially a Gold Glove Award? That's not easy to get.
I mean, to say we were shocked would be a lie, honestly. Like it's not what we expect, but like the way she performed, you would just expect that she would get the accolade like that. And our whole team was obviously excited, just in the group chat, going crazy for her because she won't go crazy for herself. So, we have to pitch in there. But that's just, her being humble. So we were so excited.
You were no slouch yourself. You're freshman All American. You got 12 assists last year, eight of them you got it from the infield when you all would go on a shift. Sometimes they would bring you in his infield. Take me through that, Reagan. What's it like from time playing the outfield, but then you're called to come in the infield from time to time, like you did last season, there to play in part of that defensive shift?
Well, it's just something we work on every day. Lap brings me in from the outfield and we work on that at practice. So because I'm so well prepared because of how lap works me that I don't feel any, anxiety or anxiousness going into the field. It's just like, well, we do it all the time, so this is how it's supposed to be. And that just really prepared me for being in that spot.
I want to ask both of you of this, starting with you, Dakota. You both play for Caitlin Lowe, who is regarded as one of, if not the greatest outfielders in the history of the sport, not just at Arizona. She never made an error in her career. I mean, if they had Gold Glove awards back then when she played, she probably would have won every year. What's it like being coached by her, one of the greatest outfielders?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's just a privilege to be able to gain her knowledge in the outfield. We work with her every day at practice, and honestly, I can say like I probably learn something new every day from her. Each drill we just get better every time, and our expectations of each other in the outfield and her expectation of us just gets higher. And I think just having her there makes us want to work even harder because like we know what she did, and her knowledge is allowing us to do what we do.
Yeah, I think one of the great things is her being such a great outfielder is that we can trust what she says. And, there's always 100% like she knows what she's talking about clearly. And when you have that trust in your coach, it allows you to have more confidence in yourself that you're also being taught by one of the greatest. So you're like getting all this wonderful information that, not a lot of people can get. And it just shows that like she knows what she's talking about and just makes all the whole outfield trust each other even more because we're all on the same page.
For either one of you, this how would you describe her style of coaching there when she's coaching you in the outfield?
Maybe intense,
Yeah.
you know?
Like direct, like she knows what she wants out of us, but like we want it too.
Yeah.
So it's not an issue.
Yeah. Intense, direct. What's another?
Passionate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
She's
very good.
hardworking.
Oh, that makes sense. How much of that played a role in both of you coming to Arizona? Just tell me a little bit about that. Starting with you, Dakota, about your decision to come to Arizona, and how much of a factor was it? Hey, I want to play. You're an outfielder, so I got one of the greatest outfielders going to get to coach me. How much of that was a factor? What other factors it came into the decision? Start with you, Dakota.
Yeah, that was definitely a factor, just being able to know that she was going to be working with the outfield so much and having her knowledge. I definitely feel like from where I came in as a freshman, I'm definitely a better outfielder. I think just the culture, and the prestige of Arizona in general definitely also played a factor.
Yeah. For me personally, like meeting Coach Kate, she set her expectations straight away when she was recruiting me for the outfield and now slapping as well because she was also one of the greatest slappers. So I almost get like a double whammy on that one. But her expectations were clear from day one, and I too have become a better outfielder because of that, and because of her high standards, and because of the Arizona legacy that she carries with her, and makes us embrace every day. That I just think she's raised our standards, and that's how it was when we were being recruited as well.
Did you both want to be softball? How did you grow up coming in into softball and playing softball? Starting with you, Reagan. What got you into playing softball?
Well, I have four older brothers who all played a bunch of sports but baseball, and I really was more intrigued by like the baseball days and stuff like that. So I started when I was like 3 or 4 wanting to play baseball, softball, just always with my brothers wanting to be doing whatever they are. So I got into it pretty young and I stuck with softball really. I played soccer, but I knew it was softball from when I was way young.
Kind of the same. I didn't start that young, but I started playing soccer, and then got into baseball first and then softball. And then at one point had to choose between those two and then chose softball because I knew I wanted that more.
Wow, that's a lot of sports. Did that help you though, from an athlete standpoint, trying all the different sports before deciding on softball?
I think it was nice to just decide and know like this is what I want to do like in the future. Like the other sports were nice, but I just knew like softball's it.
Let me ask you both this: did you have favorite athletes growing up that inspired you, either in softball or even other sports for that matter? Starting with you, Dakota.
Oh. Um, if I'm being completely honest, no, not really. I didn't watch like a bunch of sports growing up or anything like that. Um, and once I got like a little bit older is when I really got into like college softball and like watching a bunch of games.
Sure.
I mean, there's obviously like some like teams that I like to watch and stuff, but I wouldn't say like growing up there's any one specific person that I was like, oh, like that's who like I want to be.
That's
I would say
fair.
for me growing up, I liked a lot of different sports because of my brothers. Like I would watch their football teams, their baseball teams. So I didn't have a specific person. I just remember watching all of it. But when I got a little older, um, I would say like 9 or 10, when I started travel ball, I looked up to a lot of like softball girls that were in the same organization.
Mm.
So like I loved Amanda Lorenz. I still love Amanda Lorenz. And just growing up watching her and Delaney Spalding, and like those were the people that like I wanted to be like them, and that's when it started really going in my brain. Like that's what I wanted to do. So when I got a little older is when I started more softball priority, but just growing up it's just any sport.
That makes sense. Have you ever met Amanda Lorenz?
Yes. Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, when I was younger, I'm still kind of starstruck, but when I was younger, I was definitely more starstruck. But now I consider her a friend, so it's a little different now. But when I would grow up going to the facility, she was always there, and I was just always like eyes on her the whole time, just wanting to be like her. So
Makes a ton of sense. Now, I want to ask about the two of you because I noticed Reagan was smiling when I asked that question about favorite athletes, Dakota. It's almost like she knew the answer you were going to give. So I want to ask you, what do you remember when you, and either one, you could kind of jump in here. When did you first meet each other? Was it, and do you recall where it was, and what did you think of the other person when you met?
was it here?
I'm like, was it the first day here?
Yeah, I think it was the first
Yeah.
day of practice, and I met Dakota, and I'm a yapper. And when we get to know each other, we're both yappers.
Yeah.
But Dakota's
In the
pretty,
beginning, not so much. I'm not a
Dakota's
yapper in the
pretty
beginning.
scared. So I just kept yapping away until I got her to yap back. But that's just
Yeah, that facts.
How long did that get used to that, Dakota? Hearing Reagan who likes to talk.
I mean, it didn't take super long, and we're both outfielders, so we're always together. But it's like in the beginning, like it takes me a minute to warm up to people.
she hasn't decided if she liked me or not.
No, it just takes me a minute to warm up to people. So it probably didn't take that long. Honestly, at this point, I don't even remember what it's like. I just know what our relationship is now
We
at
just
this
mesh
point.
well.
Yeah.
What describe the chemistry you both have in the outfield? You, Dakota, you in left. Obviously, you Reagan at center. Altmeyer was right fielder's back as well. So if you want to include her into that equation, building the chemistry in the outfield, how does that come along? Whichever one wants to take that first.
I mean, I can go. I think it starts at practice, us being able to take live reads during practice together and just work on our communication. Oh, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
What
Her
happened?
screen black.
It just like my screen just went off. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. We're good.
Anyways, I'm sorry. Just being able to have that communication with each other at practice, and then in the game, honestly, it's seamless. It's like
Yeah.
we already know where we're going to be playing, and it's like one little word like I got you in front. Okay, like she knows she's got me behind. Like it's so seamless. I think we barely even have to think about it,
Yeah.
honestly.
We don't need to like talk as much, like we're already on the same page. But there's 5 of us in the outfield this year. Me and Co, Zadie, Tagalog, Kai Altmeyer, and Paige Dillmer, and we're all together. If it was any one of us out there, we're all on the same page. And I would give a lot of like that to Coach Kate on
I was just
recruiting
about to
us,
say that, yeah.
because we all gel well with each other. Like the best I've ever really gelled with people on a team, and our personalities, and that's definitely on the coaches recruiting and what they look in for players and type of athletes. But like Coach said, the live reads that we do, we work on communication every day. Whether we're even in lines, we're talking about how we feel, what we see, how the ball's spinning, if it's wet, like we have really good communication.
Yeah.
Like, it's the best relationship we're in.
Literally.
Like
That's funny.
All of us.
That's all. Who's the leaders on the team? Who are some of the leaders on the team?
we have Taylor.
I mean,
We have Taylor.
yeah.
We have Devin. We have Miranda. We have Sid Stewart. We have Co.
Reagan. I mean, honestly, we
Kaya.
don't have like team captains on our team. So honestly, anybody can be a leader at any
Yeah.
point. If someone steps up and they're the leader in that moment, everyone on the team is right behind them saying, okay, like, yes, we're on it. We understand what you're saying. It's never like no one's ever afraid to speak up. It doesn't matter if they're freshmen. It doesn't matter if you're a 6-year, like it does not matter. Everyone has a voice on this team. So I think anyone can be a leader at any point.
Yeah. I think
All
that's
right.
actually the great thing of
Is
not
it? Go
having
ahead.
captain.
You like
Yeah.
that?
The great
Okay.
thing of that I do because, everybody, there's no like we don't leave all the pressure up to one person to make a decision, like, because that's what makes us so close.
No doubt. All right. We're going to do this game here. I want you to describe your teammate, their kind of player they are, for those that maybe have never seen her play. So, Dakota, I'm going to start with you. Describe Reagan Shockey for those that maybe have not seen her play.
Okay, I would say up to bat. Yeah, you might think she's the typical slapper, but no, you need to not just play straight on the grass line or anything like that because she can hit it over your head. She can bunt. She can do anything. In the outfield, she can track down any ball. Like nothing's gonna get by her, and she will throw you out. I would never run on her, unless she's like back against the wall throwing it home. Even then, I might be hesitant to run. I would never run on her. So yeah, and she's just a great teammate. Will pick you up, let you know what she's seeing up in the play or even in the outfield. So yeah, great overall player.
There you go. That's a big Reagan, how would you describe Dakota Kennedy to those who have not seen her play?
I would say she's like, I'm just kidding. I would probably the best word if I could put in a hole is fierce. I would just use her as fierce. I would say her attitude when she goes up to the plate. If I was the pitcher, I'd probably be scared. If I was anyone in the infield, I would not want to be in that infield. It's just the amount of like power and strength she has in her mind, her body, her control, just all that. And then when you go to the outfield, it's just she's consistent. That's why she is the Gold Glove.
That's very nice.
She is consistent. That's why she's the Gold Glove because people expect you to make these crazy plays, but really it's the players that catch every ball that they make every play, and it's just routine at that point. And that's why she's the Gold Glove, not because she'll dive here and there. It's because every ball is caught. And I think consistency and being fierce is her biggest stars to me.
That's very good. Let me ask you this, Reagan, starting with you. What's one aspect of Dakota, either her game or personality, that you wish you had of hers? That you're like, oh, you're envious. Like, I wish I could do what she could do.
Dude, personality or game? I feel like her personality is her game. I mean, I feel like it plays in a good part, but maybe up to bat, like her fierceness of like there's no fear ever. And like even if there is, she hides it very well, and I feed off of that already. So I wish when I go up there, I give that same type of energy because I feed off of it when I'm in that two hole. So yeah.
Dakota, what part of Reagan's game or maybe her personality you wish you had in your own game or personality that you envy of her?
Honestly, like I was gonna say the same thing. Just like watching her go up to bat. I remember her as a freshman, like coming in like first scrimmage. I'm like, this girl is not scared. Like she's ready to do work right now. And I'm like, we need to be ready. And I'm like, I want that. Like going into every at bat, like I'm not scared. Like I'm embodying Reagan Shockey right now. Like I am going to get a hit. I am going to get on base and I'm going to score. Like that's what I think when she gets on base. I'm like there's a run. There's a run. That's already a run. And I'm like, I want that.
That's very
I want to
good.
hit it out without trying. So
Do you two get competitive with each other? Maybe not even just in softball, maybe outside of video games or just anything. Do you do get competitive?
no.
I wouldn't say no. I mean, they always separate us on
Do
teams.
they?
So yeah. So maybe there when we
They try to get a rise out
yeah,
of
they
us.
try and get it a little bit and I'm like I mean, I feel like our games go so good together when they get put together it's just like perfect.
Big 12 this year. That's going to be a big story. Everybody's going to ask you about being in the Big 12 here for the first year. What cities are you looking forward to going visiting maybe for the first time playing in the Big 12? Let me start, whichever one of you wants to go first on that. Is there a city in mind you're intrigued to after, in the Big 12 that you're going to be intrigued to check out?
Do you have one? I don't know. First one I think is maybe Houston. Um, just because I feel like it would be nice weather or something like that. I like nice weather. I don't like it too cold or anything like that. So that's the one
That's funny.
I think I would like
Because
to
I was
see.
gonna say BYU
Really
because
see.
I know their facilities are nice,
Mm,
and I don't know, I've never been there.
they probably have a good view though, like how
Yeah,
Utah
mountains.
was. Yeah,
But hopefully it doesn't snow on us.
I know.
Uh,
I hope it doesn't snow for you either. And right, you both get to visit Houston, I think, at the end of the regular season, and you'll play BYU, I'm sure, there. And you'll get to play, obviously, in Oklahoma City, the site of the World Series, which is a place that I know that's a goal of yours to end up there, not just at the Big 12 championships, but beyond that. Is that something also you circled? The fact, like, hey, we get to play in that maybe the most famous field that every player wants to play at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a unique experience that we're going to get, and it's going to be nice. It obviously won't be the Women's College World Series or something like that, but it's nice to be able to say, like, we've played here before, like, we're going to be able to play there again.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I don't like. I'm more of a take a day at a time. Let's just get through the what's in front of us first.
Oh, you sound like a coach. So that's good segue to my question is, what do you want to both do whenever your softball careers are done? What's your post softball plans? Do you have those plans yet, or are you still figuring that out? Starting with you, Reagan.
I'm still figuring out, but I've had some little dreams about maybe sports commentating, stuff like that. My dream is how basketball has like a after dark special, like Sports Center After Dark, where they're actually talking about players, and it's a little controversial. I kind of want to get into that where, I mean, it might be a little rough patchwork because you're talking about players, but I think it's so interesting. And I think that's a way to get women's sports to be like male sports. So if male sports can have people, talking trash a little bit, picking their games, because that's just sports in general. If we could get that with girls, I think it'd just kind of level us up even more because it would just heighten the game, I think.
That's interesting.
And Dakota can be my lawyer.
Yeah. Oh, she gave it away. She gave it away. Yeah, I plan to go to law school once I graduate.
That's pretty impressive, by the way. Law school there. That's going to be a few years there. Not easy.
Yeah.
What got you interested in that?
I've always just for a long time been interested in the law and the government, and things of that sort. I do mock trial here as well at the university, so I get, a little bit versed with that, with the people who are in that club with me. But yeah, so I've always thought that I've wanted to go to law school even since I was in high school, but I'm pretty set on it right now.
That's pretty good. So Reagan, now as you got now you got my antenna up here as a fellow media person, broadcast who does broadcast. We do podcasts on softball. We cover softball there. So what you say you want to do media like after dark? Are you talking about just sports debates? Are you talking anchoring? What are you talking?
Yeah. Sports debates, like who we think's gonna win. Like even football has like the pregame, what do they call it, with Nick
Pregame
Saban
show.
and all of them.
Pregame show.
Yeah,
Yeah, college game
show.
day. College game day. Yeah.
I'm into that. They're getting the fans to go against each other, creating like these rivalries that are already big, even bigger. Everybody wants to be there. Everybody wants to watch. Everybody shows up early, or even after the game, you just dissect the game. I'm into both of it, honestly.
Ooh, okay. You and I have to talk more about this down the road here. You got my interest in commentary broadcast. Chris Lorenz does our podcast here on D1 Softball with as well. There, so we can talk about this long term. But you got more softball ahead of you first. Focus on that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you both
Absolutely.
this, because I know we're getting you as you're about to get ready to practice. Hillenbrand Stadium, the Mike Kendrea Field, was just named the NFCA Field of the Year. What's it like to play in that historic stadium where so many great players have played? I'm sure you're reminded of that all over that place, but not many could say that. What's it like to play in that stadium?
Yeah, I mean, first, all props to the field crew for making our field
Yeah.
look so good every day.
They're out here right now.
Right now, just
busting
prepping
their
the field for
butts.
practice. So all shout outs to them. But just the atmosphere here, the fans, I can say in left field, we're in the stands right now. They're right behind me in left field, and they're always so supportive. Like, we're making even just a routine catch. Like, they're so excited for us. So just having that energy every game, it's absolutely electric, and honestly, it's great.
Yeah, I would say we have some of the most loyal fans. I've never seen anything like it. You kind of go anywhere here and they know who you are and they appreciate you, and we appreciate them just as much. And then shout out to alumni for being the reason that we have this field. Like we don't have this field just because, we did all right. I mean,
Right?
we had superstars and, we had to pay our respects to them because they're the reason that we get this field and we get all these fans and there's seats for all these fans. So a lot. Huge thanks to all the alumni who did a great job and honored that Arizona legacy.
Last year, you all won a regional in Fayetteville on the road and got to the super regionals. Where ironically, you played Oklahoma State. It was almost like a foreshadowing, hey, welcome to the Big 12 in advance there. But how much of that motivates both of you and the rest of the returners that you got a taste of that, and now you're like, hey, we were that close to the World Series, 2 wins away. Does that drive you, has driven you here in this fall, and is driving you into this season for whichever one wants to take that first?
Yeah, I think it was amazing to be able to get there last year. And I think it was even better for the incoming freshmen to see us. They obviously got to watch that as well. But I think it kind of goes back to what Reagan said, just taking it day by day. We have our pillars here where we want to first win every game, then win every series, and just growing off each one till we get to that point. But it's nice to know that, okay, we've already done it, so we know we can maintain that and then just keep growing from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think not to get too far ahead of ourselves is the biggest aspect here in terms of like season is coming up. So like we're just in our preparation phase, but playing them, it did motivate us because we're here and we fought hard to get there. We as a team knew what we went through and what our bodies went through to get there. And to be 2 games away, it was a little like I have 2 more games in me, and I bet everyone else does too. And this year, especially with that group, I think it made us a lot closer.
Who's the comedian on the team?
I would say there's a few.
There is a few.
We have Emily Shep,
Yeah.
who's hilarious.
Sid Stew.
Oh
my gosh.
Sid Stewart.
No, Sid Stew, Sid Summerdike.
Sid Summerdike.
Yes.
We have a lot of little.
There's so many.
It's like you look at them and you have to look away before you laugh and get in trouble. Dakota cracks me up.
That's awesome. That's pretty good. I could tell you all get along. That's a good group, right? It's like because you're all like spend so much time together, like a family. That's a key. That's why I bring it up because that's a key factor in all that. Sometimes somebody needs needs to crack a joke there to maybe lighten things up or maybe less stress.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. My last question to both of you, but both so kind. For fans that are going to watch your team play this year, how would you describe this version of the Arizona Wildcats, this 2025 edition, and what they can expect to see when they see you on the field? Start with you, Reagan.
Shoot, just freaking electric. That's what our team is to me, electric. I mean, we're quick, we're strong, we're funny. I just think we're like entertainment. I think we're electric. I think we're gonna make my plan is to make everybody have goosebumps and just live to watch our games and look forward to it. And I hope they interact with us too, because I want them to be just as close with us as the whole team is. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I've said it before, like we're so competitive. I think fierce is another one. And I think just when someone's watching a game, they know we're not going to give anything away. Like we're ready for every pitch, every at bat, every ball that's hit to us. Like we're just not going to give anything away. And we're going to fight through every single inning, no matter what the score of the game is. That
is Dakota Kennedy, former top lawyer, future lawyer, top lawyer there. They'll be representing many. Myself, I'm probably right behind Reagan as far as recommending there, and perhaps future College Game Day host Reagan Shockey joining us there, joining us here on In the Circle for the Arizona Wildcats. Hey, both of you, thank you so much for taking the time. I know it's a busy time, as it always is for student athletes to get ready for the season, but enjoy watching you both play. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Good luck this season. I'm sure we'll cross paths during the year, but in the meantime, thanks for talking to us here on In the Circle on D1 Softball.
Thank you so much.